Hello, everybody. Hello, my friends, my dear teacher. Hello, Janina. On behalf of the teacher, I want to say thank you again for being in this new session for English teacher. Okay, we are going to start. We have decided that each teacher is going to ask you a personal question, and then you are going to give the answer and so forth. When a teacher finishes, you start with another one. Okay, are you ready?
Okay. I'm ready.
Okay, teachers, are you ready? I'm sure yes. Okay, so we are going to start with Jenna.
Yes.
Thank you. My question is about how to complete the modules because we don't have the teacher's guide. That is my question. Thank you.
Okay, so you want to know about the teacher's guides. The teacher's guides are written. They're written by the authors, okay? But we are going through a big process of editing. There are some changes in the modules. For Elemental and Medio, you will have modules that will be shorter. Right now, the ones on the platform are 32 pages. For Elemental and Medio, they will be 24 pages because you only have 3 hours per week, right? And for Superior and Bachillerato, they will be the 32 pages. So we have made some changes in the material itself, and so we need to make the corresponding changes to the teacher's guides as well, right? In theory, you guys should be able to work with this material without a teacher's guide for now, because the level of the material should be something that you already know how to do in English, okay? A lot of the activities you're going to see in the texts do not have specific answers to them because they ask students to create language, right? To do something with language. It's not simple like multiple choice or, yeah, maybe listening sections are multiple choice, true, false, but you will also have in the teacher's guides the scripts from the audios. So you will be able to see the text and you will also have the answers to those questions along with extra activities. But the teacher's guides are the last things that will be ready, because what we have to review and make sure all the modules have the correct activities, and then we can give you the teacher's guides that correspond to the modules. So this is part of the process. They are written. We do have teacher's guides, but they need to be revised. Okay?
Okay, thank you, Janine. Are you ready, Belen? Belen, is your turn. Belen Cruz. I have a question for you, Janine.
Yes, Belen, be sure to turn on your microphone. We can try somebody else in the meantime.
Yes. Javico, are you ready? Javico Castillo, please, okay. Your question, please. Yeah.
I'm here. Okay. Okay. My question is for how could we work with children that cannot hear or listen? I have the problem that I have a lot of students in my school that have social problems and have problems that can hear and cannot listen. How?
Okay.
With them?
Okay, so you have deaf students, right? Those who cannot hear. Okay, so I'm not an expert in this field, okay? I have never studied special education. I'm a linguist. And so it's very difficult for me to give you professional recommendations without me having the knowledge of how to work specifically with those students. I know that there is an organization that exists called DESE that deals with students who have disabilities and who have special needs. So I think that they would be the ones to maybe offer some suggestions. I mean, if students cannot hear, then they obviously cannot do listening and speaking. And we're going to have to focus more on reading and writing. But even then, sometimes it's difficult for deaf students to be able to read because reading is actually a phonological process in our brains. And so it's difficult for them to read in their first language. And in English, which has a completely different phonology, it's also more challenging. This is something that the Ministry of Education has not thought of. Honestly, when they gave us the project, we had no guidelines whatsoever for special needs students. we have no extra material for them, but this is something that definitely needs to be done in the near future. But in order to do something, I think we need to get together with specialists in that particular area of special education, working with students with special needs, and combine forces together and create something that would be good material for special needs students in all different aspects, because deaf students need different material from autistic students or from ADHD students. You know, it's not the same special needs all across the board. So we have to work with specialists in order to elaborate material that would be convenient for these students.
Okay, thank you, Janine. Habiko, we don't forget that most school, we have DESE. DESE are especially psychology that can help us in ordering special needs students. Okay, Daniel.
Thank you.
You're welcome, my friend. Daniel, are you ready? Okay, teacher Melanie, please turn off your microphone and ask your question. Are you ready? Turn off your microphone.
Yeah, hello, I am Melanie. It is a pleasure to be here with Janine and you. Thank you very much. I am from Loja province, Pindal town, and I'm so happy to share with you in this moment. I have a question for you, Janine. For example, in the curriculum, we have a lot of skills around each level of proficiency. My question is about how they can use to plan each module, because they are 56 per EGB, 8, 9, and 10 years, around of 5 transversal axes.
Yes, okay, so if you're referring to the planning, because I know in your planning you have to include the skills that are going to be covered for your lessons, right? This is something that I'm hoping is going to change. I have been talking with the Directora de Currículo and also with the Subsecretaria de Fundamentos, and we have been working on a new plan for English, a completely new planning. It's not ready. It's not, as you can imagine, it is not ready. But they know that we can't continue to use the same planning from before because it doesn't go with the modules. And as I talk to you teachers always tell me that the plans that you do and the things that you do in class are no tienen nada que ver, basically, right?
Yes.
And so for this reason, we have to make a major change in the planning system. I proposed a new plan to use, at least for the micro-curricular planning. I proposed a new plan that is based on a communicative approach. So instead of you looking at skills from the curriculum, that was our job as the authors. We had to find the skills and we had to put them in the material. It's not your job to do that. That was our job. We're finished. But what we need you to see is how you're going to teach that material in the classroom. And so the new planning that we have suggested goes much better with the modules. It is simplified. It is easier to work with. It is more practical. Now it's just a matter of it getting approved in all of the instances in the Ministry of Education. I cannot just give you, here, use these. It's not allowed. We have to get them approved.
Yeah, they are very interesting. I review my level and I note that in each module, you expose the curriculum traits. For example, you start the module and communication and cultural awareness. They are interesting, but my question is based on how we can write these curriculum traits in our plan, because our plan set skills, criteria, evaluation criteria, for example. We can combine that?
Yes, but those plans are going to change. Those plans are going to be different. So I think maybe, I hope, that you won't have to write skills anymore, because that was our job. Our job is to put the skills in the textbook. Your job is to see how to execute the material.
Yeah, because these modules are perfect, are beautiful, but they need to transform the skills planet for the curriculum.
Yes.
There are
and
different that I note in this module that you can use our national information. For example, I will start this year with Olympic sports, how Ecuador participates around the world with Olympic sports. It's so interesting for my students. And I think what happened with the other skills, I need to avoid them and continue my English practice with the modules, only
Right.
modules. They are so interesting and they are speaking or relating the curriculum trip because they are in the standards.
Yes.
They are based on the standards.
Yes, they're based on the English curriculum. It's not like I decided, you know, that's another thing. Sometimes people think the teachers at the beginning, they thought, you know, like this gringa is coming here like imperialista to conquer. No.
This is a great no.
No.
This is
No.
a great news.
No, it was not my decision. The Ministry of Education said, please write a textbook. Here is the English curriculum. And so I look at the English curriculum. I read the whole document for Bachillerato. I read the whole document. And I saw, okay, this is good. The English curriculum of Ecuador is very good. The document is very well written. It has very good ideas in it. And so the modules are based on the English curriculum from the government, from the Ministerio de Educación. So it's not me just saying, okay, we have to do it this way. And I have no idea what, you know, Ecuador is like. I've lived here for 8 years, which is not a lifetime, but it's enough time to kind of get an idea of what's happening in the country and the reality from talking to you guys and everything. So I want everyone to know that it's not me deciding the contents. In fact, the ministry said, here's the sequencia, here's the scope and sequence, here are the topics, write about these things. What we had to do was create material, but they gave us the title of each module and the structures, the English structures that we have to include, and the curricular threads. So we just had to create material to go along with those things, you know, so the government gave us everything. We didn't even have the liberty to change the topics or anything like that, you know. So just so everybody knows that and has that clear, that this is all based on the Ecuadorian English curriculum.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Oh, Marcos. Turn on your microphone, Marcos. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Janine. Pepe Astudillo, now it's your turn. Please, ask the question, Pepe Astudillo.
Hello.
Hi, Pepe.
Before I start my question, I want to say like the DESE, as you were saying before, for the disabilities of the students, not all the high schools have a DESE. Small schools don't used to have them, but there are big schools who have linked to the small ones, but they just go once a week.
Okay.
So it's really hard for the small schools to work with DESE. Just to say, another thing, as we were teaching in the traditional way, and this is completely different because you say that we're not gonna teach the same way because we're not gonna be following all the grammar structures and all those things, but we're going to get new, unfortunately I haven't checked the new modules. I don't know where can I check them, but as you told us, this is gonna be absolutely new way to teach. I would like you to tell me if there are going to be strategies on the modules, or as you were saying, there are gonna be strategies on the new planning.
Okay, thank you for your question. If you look at the Facebook page that we have created, that's called Ecuadorian Public School English Teachers. That's a page on Facebook. You will see in the videos section that we have already done some videos, right? So we have a video, well, we did a video with technological tools. We did a video on how to do input activities, because since we use the communicative approach, we have input and output activities, how to create output activities, how to use a communicative approach, how to work with CLIL, content and language integrated learning. And we have some tools there. Now, I've noticed that some teachers are requesting like a demo class or something like that, that we can try to do. Yes, okay, we can try to do that also. It's just that we haven't done that because since we've been working, you know, this in distance learning, and you have the fichas pedagógicas for now, we haven't really dedicated a lot of time to explaining how to use the modules in a class. But if I can just show you for a moment so that I can help guide you through something that I think is very important with the modules, there's a way that I would suggest to deal with the modules in general. So let me show you an example of a module right here. And okay, everybody should be looking at that module right there. Yeah, this happens to be from Tercero de Bachillerato, which is the modules that I have written. This is the first module in Tercero de Bachillerato, right? So what we want to do when we start a new module, just as a general rule, okay? Every time we start a new module, there are 6 modules, and there are 6 modules for 6 partials. This seems like a lot of material. I understand that. For some of you, it's going to be too much material. This is true. For some of you, it will be the right amount of material, okay? But there, you don't need to cover all the pages. So if you look at this first page right here, you always have a triangle. And this tells you basically, on the left side, it tells you the elements that are from the English language. On the right side, it tells you what aspects of CLIL are you going to see, what subjects you're going to see, social studies, language, etc. And then on the bottom, you'll see values that are also from the Ministry of Education, okay? So here you can see on the left side, this is my focus right here. On the left side, we can see the contents that we're going to be talking about. So movie genres, vocabulary, simple past and past continuous, idioms and biographies and movie reviews is what we're going to be doing, okay? So we want to make sure that we cover the items in the left side of the triangle. So as you go through the module, before you start the first day, here you can see, for example, we have all the vocabulary for movie genres. All of it is in the blue words, right? Those are all the vocabulary for movie genres. So this would be a page, for example, that would be really necessary for us to work with because it's full of vocabulary. Remember, we're teaching vocabulary and grammar through input. So this means in their listening sections, in readings, in different ways, they're learning grammar and vocabulary in context. Okay, so you're not going to see vocabulary lists, you know, in English and Spanish or anything like that. So this would be an example of a page that we would definitely want to do, right? And then we could start the lesson by this discussion question that we have at the top of the page. Okay, you know, do you watch movies? Okay, do you like watching movies? You know, and then you can talk about different types of movies and things like that. And then you have an activity here. Okay, so this way they're exposed to vocabulary. So you can decide which of the pages you think are best to do. This one, for example, it's a listening section, oral communication, but it doesn't really have any like real big target vocabulary or grammar. So maybe if we're not going to have enough time to cover the whole module, we can skip this page. If when we're finished with all of the pages that are necessary, we realize, oh, I still have 3 more classes. Okay, let's go back and do this page. The modules are very flexible. You don't have to do page 1 until page 32 in order every single page. That's not necessary. You can start with page 2 and then do page 16 and then go back to page 7 and then do page 20 as you wish. Okay, you as teachers have the freedom to determine that, but you need to make sure that you cover the elements that are on the left side of the triangle. Okay, so I'll show you another example in which we would see grammar, if I can, and there we go. Okay, here's another, just some more. Yeah. Okay, some of these are just, you know, you could see what are most interesting to your students. If you want to practice, for example, listening, you know, if you think that that's really important for your students, you can practice with listening. But there are some, I can't find a box right now. There's assessment, you have projects in each module, reviews, yeah, reference of interpretation. Okay. For example, here's a note, right, where they work with years, for example, and then it shows a note about how to say the years in English. In case your students, by Tercero de Bachillerato, they should know this. But maybe they need practice, you know, again, with working with years. You can practice this page. You know, here's a grammar note, you see? When we talk about a movie we have seen, we can use past tenses, blah, blah, blah. So there is grammar, you know, but it's like hidden in the margins. And then what they have on the page gets them to work with that grammar, okay? So you wanna make sure that you cover the pages that have the required elements. There's idioms also in this chapter in 2 different pages. So you wanna make sure that you cover those pages, okay? But use the triangle on the first page to guide you as the way to work with the modules. You don't have to finish all the pages, that's okay. Okay, in any level, you don't have to finish all the pages. Just make sure that you cover all the material that is on the left side of the triangle, and you will be fine.
Okay, Janine, thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Janine, I'm hearing you, but so for most teachers, think that we must complete the modules. That is not necessary, as you say. It's not necessary that we must follow pages 1, 2, 3. We can skip and follow according to our student necessity. So that's the idea.
That's right. And okay, in tercero de bachillerato, you are not going to finish all the pages, because in tercero you have 32 pages and you have 3 hours of class per week. It is impossible to finish all of that work, but we left all the pages there because some schools want extra material. Some schools are a little bit more advanced and they want to have that. It's fine for them, but most schools will not finish all those pages. That's okay. As long as you cover what is on the left side of the triangle, you are fine. And then you decide, like what I would do is before I start every partial, before I look at the left side of the triangle, I say, okay, where are these pages? I'm going to find them and put a star. Okay, so I look through, I say, oh, page 4 has grammar, star. Okay, et cetera, right? And then the rest of the pages, those are optional. So I would do, like, for example, ooh, this page looks really interesting. My students are going to like this page. I want to do this page as optional number 1. So when I finish all of the required pages to cover the English content on the left side of the triangle, then I can put the other pages in order. What order do I want to go? I want to do this page first because my students will really like this topic. And then this page second, third, fourth. And if you don't finish all the pages and you only finish 20 pages of 32, that's okay. That's okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay, very interesting. So it's turn to Yoconda. Hello, Yoconda. How are you? Please ask your question.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you? Hi. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you, Mr. Sandon and Ms. Janina, for inviting the Zoom meeting. I have a question for Ms. Janina. Why are there 3 modules for each level and how we are going to use them? There is just 1 for second level. Why?
Okay.
Explain. I confused.
A lot of people are confused, unfortunately. Okay, so the truth is that all 6 modules are written in some form, okay? Some of them are already diagrammed. Some of them are in Word documents that need to be diagrammed. We're at different places. Right now, you have 3 modules available on the platform, but those are rough drafts. Son borradores. They are not the final versions, okay? Because in Elemental en Medio, you will have 24 pages, not 32, okay? So you will see that change. And in Superior en Bachillerato, you have 32 pages, yes, but there are so many revisions. There were a lot of errors in those modules. Why? Because the Ministry of Education asked us to give them material in 1 month, 64 pages of material in 1 month. This is impossible. This is impossible because the authors have to create the material, the editors have to revise it, they send it to the diagrammers have to diagram it, then the editors have to revise it again, and it's impossible to do that in 1 month. But because the ministry needed new material very fast for the Sierra in September, they said, fast, give us this. Now, we say, but it's not perfect yet. It's okay, we just need material. Okay.
Okay,
so,
thank you very much.
Yeah, so you have 3 modules on the platform right now, but those are borradores. So if you see there are mistakes, there are problems. Séptimo, for example, Séptimo de Básica is going to have a lot of changes because some of the content was very advanced. And so that it's been changed. And so you will see better versions of these modules on the platform very soon, I hope. But the problem is the Ministry of Education does not have contracts for anybody who has worked on this project this year. So all of those changes that have been done by the editors like me and the other editors I work with, by the diagrammers, by the illustrator, nobody has received anything for those. No contracts, no money, nothing. Okay? So you can imagine the situation. Legally, they cannot take the material we have worked on and put it on the platform if we don't have a contract, you see? And so this is the big problem right now. This is the big problem. This is why we can't give you more material. It's a legal problem. These textbooks, los módulos son una orden presidencial. Okay, so technically, this is not the Ministry of Education. This is the president who says we need these English textbooks. So in theory, these should be finished, but we still don't have contracts. And we have been working since January 1st, and we have no contracts. I know you guys understand the situation as well, with your salaries and everything. It's a difficult time. We have heard from the ministry that yes, these books will be finished, that yes, they will give us contracts, but it is taking a very long time. So until we have contracts and they can legally use the material, you will have what you have right now on the platform. I don't know when that will be. I don't know. I really, really hope that by September, everything will be finished. But it's the government that is the problem right now because they don't give us contracts. So we need that in order to be able to continue with our work.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So that is a hard things, you can. Miss, so it's a hard situation for our country and students.
Yes, yes.
But we hope everything is going to change and it's getting better day by day.
I hope so. I think the ministry knows that these are essential. We don't have any English textbooks. You cannot use the old material. It is illegal to use that because there is no contract for that material. The old books from last year, you can't use them. You can't legally.
I have a question.
Yes.
You said that there are only 3 modules, right? 3 modules. That's for 8th, 9th, 10th, or it's for bachillerato? Or I'm not understanding.
No. Right now on the platform, I think it's because you haven't seen the platform yet, but right now on the platform, there are 3 modules per level. Octavo has noveno, décimo, primer, all from segundo de básica, okay? And they have audios on the platform, but those are rough draft versions. Okay, those are just preliminary versions. And there are 3 more modules for every level. So there is a total of 6 modules. It's really important, and I had a meeting with the Subsecretaria de Fundamentos and told her it's very important that we finish the modules, because if you only have 3 per level, the sequence is destroyed.
Like Javier.
It's a
like
problem.
Javier, right?
Right. I mean, the amount of material is a lot. You know, it's 96 pages. That's a lot. But you have a sequence. So let's say in module 5, let's just say, in octavo, in module 5, you see simple past. Well, if we don't give you the material from module 5, then you don't see simple past in that level. And this is a big problem. I think the ministry understands that, but it's taking a very long time to make this happen. I should mention also, the American Embassy, the US Embassy, is involved in a project like Ecuador Habla Inglés, I think it's called. Ecuador Habla Inglés, and they're working also with teachers in Manabí right now. And I had a meeting with somebody from the US Embassy, and she told me, yes, you know, we are going to help you to try to get this module project finished. So she wrote an email to the person in the US Embassy and said, we really need these modules to continue with our program also. So we have, you know, different people trying to push the ministry to get these projects finished, but it's taking a while. But there will be 6 per level, to answer your question.
Yeah, because it's gonna be a big issue for us if all the modules are not in the platform, or the students
Absolutely.
cannot get them.
Yep.
Either us.
Yep. That depends on the Ministry of Education.
Thank you. Thank
Okay.
you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Pepe. So, Ms.
Oh,
Janine,
sorry, Marcos, I think Gioconda has a friend maybe who wants to ask a question.
Yeah.
okay,
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, me, Janine Matts. I was a problem with Zoom.
Okay.
But my question, I have a question for you, please, about the Miss Yoconda, about the second question of the, is there any other place to download the model 2 and 3 for 4 course or for 4 levels?
Yes, where do we download the modules? I can show you this right now. I can share my screen and I'll post the screen. Hold on one second. In the chat. Let's see. Okay. Here, I will share my screen with you. Let me just copy this.
I was looking.
Okay, I will copy this in the chat so that everybody has the address. First, you have the Facebook page that will help you. Make sure everyone joins the Facebook page. And now I just sent you the address for the modules, but let's take a look together so you guys can see exactly what it looks like. So here's the page for the modules. Whoops, let's get this chat out of the way. Get you guys out of the way, I can't see anything. Okay, yeah, so here we have, now you look at your subnivel. So we have elemental, media, superior, and bachillerato. So let's say we want to look at superior, okay, so, or media. We click on media, we click on superior, yeah. And we have recursos educativos, I go down there, and módulos. So I look at my subnivel, go to recursos educativos, and go to módulos. Okay, I click there. And then the internet takes me to there, and I have, for example, quinto, sexto, and séptimo, right? Because we're in media. So let's say that I want to look at sexto, inglés, sexto EGB, right? I click here, and then we see here the modules. You can see them right here. For all levels, we have módulo 1, 2, y 3. We have descargar audios. So if I click on this, it gives you the listening sections, right? But some of these, again, have to be edited because we're doing some changes, but anyway. Yeah, and you also have audios for here. The audios for module 3 have been recorded, but they're not uploaded for all the levels, which I'm not sure why that's the case, because for some of the levels, you do have them. Let's take a look for a moment at here, bachillerato. Yeah, see, we have the audios for module 3 in bachillerato, in tercero de bachillerato. Yeah, so you download the module and you download the audios to your computer and you can listen to those. Okay, so that's where we get the material. Right now, we're going to be working with the fichas, you know, so until we're actually back in the classroom. Now, if you have a way to work with your students with the modules, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. But not all students have access to internet. Not all students can see what we're looking at right now. So we have to work with what is our reality, okay? If you have access to internet and your students have access to WhatsApp, guess what? You can open one of these modules. You can take a picture of one of the pages if you want them to work with, like, let's say just a cultural page or something like that, and you can have them work with that. You see, you take a picture and you send it to them on WhatsApp. You can work on this page if you want, but you will have fichas, so it's not necessary. If this seems a little difficult for your students to do by themselves, maybe you don't want to work with this directly yet. But when we go back to the classroom, you will work with modules. Yes.
So you're not allowed to download it from your phone, because you can get into the internet with your phone. Maybe you can download that,
right,
information.
That's true. This is true, but I know that some of the teachers have been telling me that the best way to work is through WhatsApp. That the data, because you know, when you get these data packages with your phone, at least in the case of Claro, because I have Claro, you know, they give you WhatsApp and what's it called, Facebook free. But the megas are used for the internet, right? So maybe you don't want to, you know, to have your students use megas, because maybe they need those megas for the other classes to do research or something, right? So maybe if we can save them megas, and they have, you know, because some students have trouble getting a lot of data, you know.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Because if you send them the file and they download it, they don't need to use megas. They just download it and they can work with that.
That's true.
what I
You
mean.
can send this to them as a PDF, but I think some of their phones will not open PDFs.
Okay.
I think, because for example, I used to have a very old phone, a Samsung, I don't even remember the name, and I couldn't work with PDFs. So depending on each person's phone, you know, I'm giving you the simplest option as far as the lowest level of technology that you need. If you have other ways that work for your students, that's wonderful. You can use those ways. But I'm just thinking of, in the worst case scenario, at least you can send them a picture and you can work that way.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yes, I told you, Janine, that like my cell, it's an old cell.
Can you see PDFs?
No, in this cell, no, it's hard.
Right, so that's the problem. But there are the resources, okay? Did I answer your question?
Darwin Zambrano. Are you ready, Darwin?
Darwin.
Okay, Darwin.
Darwin present. My question is, the guys of the teacher English are going to deliver before the start of the school year?
Mm-hmm.
Do you listen?
Kind of. It's a little bit difficult to understand. Can you repeat your question, please?
My question is, the guys of the English teacher are going to deliver before the start of the school year.
If the teacher's guides are going to be ready for the beginning of the school year in the Sierra, you're asking, or for what? Or in the coast?
In the coast.
No, no, they won't be ready because, like I said, you know, the problem is the ministry is not getting the money for the project. So until I can't work with my coworkers, nobody is working because they're 5 months without a contract. 5 months. So nobody is working right now. So I can't do anything because the government has not, you know, paid for 5 months of work. And so people have stopped. The teacher's guides are written, but they won't be ready for the beginning of the coast year because that's in 1 week. You know, they're not going to be ready in 1 week. Yeah. They're written, they exist, but they're not going to be distributed because the Ministry of Education is not paying the people it needs to pay. So that's, you know, people are working lots of hours and, you know, so that's the problem. That's the problem right now. But in any case, Darwin, I mean, you should, as an English teacher, be able to do the work in the modules. If you are teaching from those modules, you need to have the level that those modules have. These are not complicated things in the modules, so I would think that you should be able to know the answers for the most of the questions. But we will give you teacher's guides, but when the ministry can pay for the work.
Okay, thanks, Janine.
Yes.
Monica Cruz, are you ready?
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Darwin. Monica Cruz, please ask the question.
Hello, my name is Monica. My question is about the third week. Which book will be used in the class or will be only use the modules?
Yeah, the modules is the only material that you will have from the Ministry of Education now. The old textbooks cannot be used anymore because they have no contract. It is illegal to work with that material. So the only material provided for you will be the modules, plus the teacher's guides eventually. With that material, you have more than enough to last the entire school year if we finally can give you the 6 modules. You have plenty of material. Les sobra material, I promise. So you will have enough, yes.
Okay. The class will be only online. My question is the districts or distrito that tell us that we have to plan in Spanish for the parents to understand because there will be many problems.
Okay, For the time that you are online, you are working with fichas pedagógicas, right? There's a person whose name is Fabiola Aguilar. She is, actually it's Doctora Fabiola Aguilar. She is an English teacher in the public school system in Cuenca. And she is creating with her team a series of fichas pedagógicas for English. So you have material for all of these weeks. You don't need to plan anything. The only plan you need to do is for the first 2 weeks is your diagnostic, your review of last year. For this, you can use the old textbooks because you used them last year when you taught your students. So that's okay for the first 2 weeks. After the first 2 weeks, then you start using the fichas pedagógicas until we go back to the classroom. When we go back to the classroom, we don't know when, but when we go back, then you will start working with the full modules, okay? But then I hope, again, I hope it doesn't depend on me, it depends on the ministry. I hope we will have a new format for your planning when you go back to the classroom, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Okay, now it's turn for Mercedes Vázquez. Please ask your question, Mercedes. Mercedes Vázquez. Okay, Mercedes is ready.
Sorry, I have a few dates, but my question is about the morals, the new morals. I haven't any guide.
Right. So
Yes,
so this is what we've said during this session. We've already said that the teacher's guides are coming. They are written, but they are being edited. Okay, so when the modules, when we have the final versions of the modules, you will also have the teacher's guides. With the scripts of the audios, you will have the answers for the questions that have answers, and you will also have ideas for extra activities. So they are coming, but they are going to take a little while until we finish editing, okay? They're coming. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Somebody else in this session would like to ask any other question to Janine, please?
Okay, please. Could
yes.
you,
okay,
could you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, this is my son account.
Okay.
My son account. My name is Judith Perlaza. Okay, sorry. I am very worried about the models, how many models, but I think that I'm very worried that if we finish this year or these partials, because it is very hard to work online. It's very hard with us and for my students too. In other interviews, you mentioned Janine. It's a pleasure for me to be here, Janine, and to know you. You mentioned in one of the interviews that the models were going to end. You said in this moment, but you don't finish yet because you or your group of the educator don't have fixed the economic situation with the government. My question is, did you finish all the models for this year? You fixed the situation, the economic situation with the government?
Okay, the modules are all written. Okay, they're all created. We have material for all the levels, but they are in different points. So like, for example, in Bachillerato, we have diagrammed. Modules 1, 2, 3 are revised and diagrammed. Module 4 is also diagrammed. Module 5 and 6 is in Word, Microsoft Word, because we have to get it diagrammed, but the diagrammers will not work unless they have a contract, of course, right? So this is where we are in Bachillerato. In Elemental, for example, we have all of the 6 modules almost perfect, ready. But again, we cannot give this material to the government until they pay the people who spent hours and hours and hours creating this material, you know? And so this is the problem. I really hope that in the next week or 2 weeks, something will be decided and we can finish this project with the help of the US Embassy, something. With the help of you teachers, if you tell also, if you know, as a group, you are 10,000 teachers in the country, that's a lot of people. as a group, if you demand the material, if you say, we need material, we need to finish, you know, we need to look at all of this material, maybe finally something will happen. But we have done everything in our power to say, please, please let us finish this project. Not even for the money, you know? I mean, like I have a teaching job that I work full time. That's my, you know, #1 dedication. But it's not even about the money. It's about you guys having the material and the students being able to work with English material. Like, I just don't understand why it's taking so long. But I hope that in the next week or so, we will have some good news. I really hope so. That means that by June, July, I would say then by August, I think all of the modules should be finished. But I don't know for sure. This depends on the Ministry of Education.
But sorry, Janine.
Yes.
The teacher guide you are going to send in these 2 weeks?
The teacher guides, no. For the modules, they're ready. Also, like for modules 1 and 2, they're ready. But we can't send this material to the government. We can't do it because they're not doing what they need to do right now. And so until we have an agreement on their side, until they do what they have to do, we have the material, but it's difficult for us because we can't give it to a government who will take it for free. This is hundreds and hundreds of hours of work creating this.
Hello, Janine.
Thank you, Janine.
Yes,
Thank
you're
you.
welcome.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Okay, Pepe.
I don't want to sound rude or something like that. You've been saying this for 4 times.
Yep.
Maybe there is some people that don't understand pretty well when you say it in English, and I know that you speak Spanish perfectly. You maybe tell them like this in Spanish so we can have this clear.
Okay,
Please.
I mean, also for not necessarily for the people here, también para los que dan clases de inglés, pero que no son docentes de inglés. O sea, obviamente, lo más importante, claro, es súper chévere practicar, pero es muy importante que quede claro también el mensaje. Es así, o sea, los módulos están escritos, todos, de todos los niveles. Pero estamos en diferentes puntos, o sea, algunos no están diagramados todavía, algunos no están editados todavía, algunos necesitan una última revisión. Estamos en diferentes puntos, en los diferentes subniveles, ¿ya? Pero el problema es que no podemos avanzar porque desde el 1 de enero, donde arrancamos el año, ¿no? No tenemos contratos. Estamos trabajando de buena fe, o sea, para completar todo el material, para que ustedes tengan todo el material que necesitan, pero el gobierno por su lado no está cumpliendo. O sea, es así la realidad. O sea, sin maldecir a nadie, sin hablar mal, sin nada. Simplemente es así. Nos faltan contratos. Entonces, hasta que no tengamos los contratos en las manos firmados, no podemos entregar este material al gobierno, porque tienen que también, o sea, tener un acuerdo formal. Nosotros hemos trabajado, como les digo, durante 5 meses de buena fe. Entonces ya en este punto, como equipo, diagramadores, ilustradores, autores, editores, ya dijimos, ok, hasta aquí. O sea, sí hemos trabajado, sí está el material, pero no lo podemos entregar. No lo podemos entregar porque si no, o sea, nunca, ¿cómo sabemos que se va a cumplir lo del gobierno? Entonces, material sí hay. Las guías para los profesores que ustedes me están pidiendo también están escritas, pero están pasando por un proceso de revisión también. O sea, tomen en cuenta que primero hay que revisar los módulos. Hay recortes de páginas. Elemental y medio están con recortes de páginas. Se reducen a 24, de 32. Entonces, eso también afecta a las guías de Teacher's Guides, ¿no? Las guías de los profesores. Entonces, hay que editar también las guías conforme vayamos editando los módulos. Pero en este momento, como les explico, todo está parado por falta de cumplimiento de parte del ministerio. Entonces, hasta que no tengamos algo ya formalmente, un acuerdo, los contratos, algo, no podemos entregarles más material. Y no pueden, ellos tienen, por ejemplo, ellos tienen ya los módulos 1, 2 y 3 revisados, editados, versión final, lo tienen. Pero legalmente no lo pueden subir a la plataforma Entonces, ustedes mientras tanto siguen trabajando con borradores, lo cual a mí me da un poco de vergüenza porque hay un montón de errores. Pero las versiones finales ya están de los primeros 3 módulos, pero no se pueden subir por razones legales. Entonces, estamos en esas circunstancias. Yo sé que ustedes también han sufrido en estos meses con los sueldos y con todo lo demás, entonces empatizo con ustedes en ese sentido porque son 5 meses de trabajo que no se saca ni siquiera el contrato. Y es material que necesita el país, o sea, si no, no tienen nada los profes de inglés, no tienen ningún material sin los módulos. Entonces esto es absolutamente necesario. Como les dije, es una orden presidencial, entonces esperemos que en las próximas semanas sepamos algo formal. Eso es.
Okay. Thank you. That's why I said that it's a hard situation for everybody, Ms. Janine. It's a very hard for, not just for you, it's for everybody,
Absolutely.
the children, imagine.
Everybody. That's right.
Okay, it's a hard situation, but we must look forward, no? That's the idea.
Right.
Yes. Okay, Ms. Jova Rosario. Are you ready, Ms. Rosario? Hello. Ask your question to Janine, please, Rosario.
Hello, Miss Janine.
Hi.
Question is, please, could you help me with some strategies we use with timid students?
With timid students.
Yeah, please help me.
Sacudirles. No. Okay. So I have a game that I like to play in my class that takes approximately 5 minutes. Okay? I can tell you this game. There are some other strategies that I also believe in, but let me tell you this game first, okay? So this game, it takes 5 minutes. You put everybody in groups of 2, okay? Groups of 2. Everybody has a partner. Okay. One of the 2 people is person A, the other one is person B. It doesn't matter because both of the people will do the same thing, okay? So you tell person A, okay, for the first minute, and you look at your watch, you time 1 minute, you say, person A, you talk to person B, and person B, you say nothing. You say nothing. You are quiet. You are a statue. No gestures, no no, zero, nothing, okay? And the students say, what? Okay, ready, go. And the person A talks for 1 minute to person B, and person B is statue, totally still, okay? Then you switch, person B. Now you talk for 1 minute to person A. And person A, you are a statue. Don't move, don't say, oh, okay, yeah, no, nothing, 0 sounds, 0 movement, okay. 1 minute, you talk, okay, finished. You can do this in Spanish, it's fine. They can talk about anything they want. And then what happens? After the activity, you say, okay, how did you feel when you were talking? And the students will say, oh, teacher, it was terrible. Oh, it was so uncomfortable. No, it was bad. I didn't like it, teacher, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, okay. So think about that. Multiply that by 60 minutes of my class, that, you know, because you talked 1 minute. Now imagine 60 minutes. And imagine not just one person listening to you, but 30 people or 40 people or the number of people in your class, right? I'm telling you, students, at least they have to be at least maybe 11, 12 years old. They will feel, they will empathize with you. They will feel because they felt that. And so then they, oh my gosh, you know, I have to talk more in class. My poor teacher, you know, something like that. If you're having trouble with the whole class participating, okay, that really, it changes something inside of them because they feel what you feel as the teacher. Other things that I think you need to do is make sure that you emphasize the positive. Okay, so you know, you say to the student, be like, you know, I've heard you speak before. You know English. You do a great job. You have wonderful ideas, but I want to hear them. Share them with me. I'll understand you. It's okay. You know, we have to really make them feel so comfortable to express themselves, because sometimes the timidness that they feel is because they think you won't understand them, or they sound terrible in English or something like that. Make them feel very comfortable. I want to hear your idea. I know I will understand you. Just try it. Just try a little bit, you know? And so then little by little they feel, and you say, oh, wow, that's a great idea. Yeah, I totally understand. And then they're like, oh, she understood me. Oh, wow, I can do this. And so then the student feels more, more confident in themselves and in their ability to speak English. I think that's super important to make them feel comfortable.
Okay, very clear. Okay, yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Rosario.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Okay, Yadira, Vicky, if you want to ask to Janine any question, please, it's your turn. Yadira, Vicky. If you don't, if somebody wants to ask another question, please, you can do it. Javiko, do you want to say something? Javiko? Okay, no? Okay, somebody else? Now's your time. No, you have any other question?
Before we say goodbye today, I just want to mention to you guys, first of all, that I really appreciate, you have no idea how much I appreciate all of you, all 10,000 of you, all of the positive attitudes you have, because the reason we started this Facebook page that we have on Facebook is because we wanted to help you guys, me and another 2 authors more, right? Obviously, we don't get paid for this, but we don't need to get paid. It's about being able to help you also, like teachers, right? Because we are teachers and you are teachers. So we should work together and help each other. I know things that you don't know. You know things that I don't know. So this symbiotic relationship where we share ideas and we both grow from each other is the best thing that we can do as educators. And I appreciate all 10,000 of you because you have positive attitudes towards the new modules, because you work really hard, because you want to learn and you want to try and you want to understand how things are supposed to work. That is the number one, that is the most important foundation base of being successful with these new modules, is for you guys to want to do it. If you want to, that's half the battle. The rest of it is you daily in the classroom when we go back to the classroom. Right now it's very difficult. But I know that in 3 or 4 years, you are going to start seeing how English is going to get better in this country. And you can be proud of yourselves because you are the instigators of change. You are on the front lines. You are the teachers. I teach at university. I teach linguistics. So I'm not teaching with these modules every day. You guys are the ones who are teaching with these every day. You will be the heroes if this works and the country improves in English. And I really think it will. So I just wanted to say thank you to all of you, because I have had nights where I am asleep and 3 in the morning I wake up, I'm like, oh, are the teachers okay? Are they going to hate the material? Can I help them? What can I do? And I'm seeing that there's starting to be positive feedback, and I am forever grateful for all of your efforts and all of the contact that we have had. So please continue that. Thank you, thank you, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
Okay, on behalf of the teacher, we want to say that we love you too, Janine, and thank you very much for your contribution to your children of our nation. Okay, we want to finish this session with your words. The principal thing we have to, or as teacher, is that we must start speaking English. It doesn't matter as you say mistake. We can say any mistake, but that it doesn't matter. The most important thing is that we can communicate with the other person. And this kind of session is a reason why we open. So we can start opening this very interesting and wonderful language. So you can, everybody, you can turn on your microphone and say goodbye to Janine.
Thank you, Janine. Good luck.
Bye, Janine. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
God bless you.
Thank you.
Bye.